And when in one, and Paul implies, if he ever wrote that first letter to Timothy, some scholars question that he wrote it. But Paul is not a person. Paul is a state of consciousness. So whoever wrote it is talking about Paul. That's the state. And he tells you that I am the former. It was first in me that the example was set forth. And here he tells you, but he doesn't spell it out, the actual pattern. But he tells us that it was in him. He was the foremost in which this pattern, this example, they use the word example, but the King James Version uses the word pattern. I prefer that. While the Revised Standard Version uses the word example. In him was the first, the foremost, where this example took place. Now, the pattern is, as I told you earlier, that God and God alone was the one who was crucified. Because I have been crucified with Christ. Nevertheless I live, yet not I, but Christ lives in me. And the life I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. So I am alive by a certain sacrifice. That was God, because God and the Son are one. In this sense. So here, I am that Son, because all the sons to form God. And we the sons came down into this world. And here I am crucified on this garment, the only cross that God ever wore. And I am buried in the tomb of this garment. And in that tomb, as told me in the 8th chapter of Ezekiel, I have made, oh, what horrible images I have engraved upon the interior of that tomb. If you read the 8th chapter of Ezekiel, and he said to the Son of Man, make a hole. And so I made a hole. Now he said, go in and see what the elders of Israel are doing. I went in, and I saw all these engravings upon the interior of this wall. And they made horrible things. And they worshipped beasts, birds, and horrible things. That's what everyone does in this world, rather than to fall in love with the pattern. But they didn't know the pattern. Now the pattern has been sent to you. The pattern has appeared in actual living reality. Will you accept the pattern? And the pattern is, give up all these things that formerly you worshipped and thought that they would save you and they would do this for you, and fall in love with the pattern. For Jesus Christ is the pattern man. And one day you are embraced by the pattern, which will be male. The other could be in another form of embrace, but it's the same impression left upon the one embraced, left upon the one that was embraced in love. And so when the act is over, he is sent into the world, and then during this journey, this impression unfolds within the individual who was embraced, on whom that impression was made, like the seal on wax. And then he knows who Christ is. For Christ comes to us as one completely unknown, yet one who, after the embrace, lets us experience who he is. And we experience it in ourselves. And it's not a he anymore. I am. So the whole thing is all within the individual. And he unfolds the entire story as told us in Scripture. That's the only freedom that man will really ever truly enjoy. So we can have a Lincoln birthday to set slaves free, and of Washington's birthday to set all Americans free, and yet all Americans still crying out for freedom, for liberty. And all the minority groups, blacks, Chicanos, everything else crying out to be liberated. And you will not in eternity be liberated, save through union with the pattern man.